Hello and welcome to Chair Yoga with the Prescott Library. Hopefully you have a good cozy chair. Today we will use dumbbells. So I have 1 pound dumbbells. If you want to go a little bit bigger, if you're feeling really ready to work your arms, great, grab some bigger ones. I would say 2 or 3, don't go any higher. It's more about repetition and just using your muscles a little bit differently. And I do have a yoga brick and just for some deeper twisting. So let's take a nice big breath, bring your shoulders back and down. Just feel like your spine is stretching straight towards the sky. And drop your shoulders down a little bit, feeling like your neck is elongating. And just drop your head gently towards the right. Opening up your neck. And switching sides. Maybe you notice a nice stretch. This is a really big muscle down the side of your neck. It's called your SCM, sternocleidomastoid. That one gets really tight on a lot of us. So this gentle stretching, opening up. It's great for people who are at a desk all day. You need to keep your head upright. Or if you're doing any winter crafting, or gardening for that matter, pick a season, right? And just letting your left arm drop down, creating a deeper stretch in here. So it might feel like you have a stretch from your shoulder, reaching into your clavicle and all the way up into your ear. I do notice when I do these stretches that opens up the eustachian tube, which is in the ear. And my sinuses open up a little bit more. And switching sides. You might notice one side's a little bit tighter than the other. And just hang out. We always do things in 3s, but if you find that you need to hang out a little bit longer, or just note something to catch back in later at the end of your day, just notice that in your body. Nice big breath coming up. Once more, dropping your head to the right, letting your left arm relax down, and notice how that stretch feels on this 3rd stretch. And if you need it to be deeper, you can wrap your arm around. My fingers are actually like right on the opposite shoulder or opposite hip. So it's getting a deeper stretch into my neck. You can gaze down a little bit towards your elbow. Nice big breath. Just kind of slowly unwind. Bring your head forward first and coming up. And relaxing your arm. Give a little shake. Nice big breath. Dropping towards your left. Relaxing your arm down. Creating that big stretch. It's probably one of my favorites. I just love it. Feels so good in my shoulders. And this just might be a nice stretch at the beginning of your morning. Opening up your shoulders for the day. Especially if you're a side sleeper. It gets really crushed in here. There's a lot of your anatomy up in your neck that gets a little kind of crushed in there if you are a side sleeper. And I will tell you, I am always sleeping on my left, which is your right here. And just gazing down. Big breath. And just slowly unwind your head, coming back towards me. just slowly relaxing your arms. Just bring your shoulders up and around. Open your body. And bring your chest forward. Palms open towards the sides of your walls. And kind of visualize that someone's pressing against your hands. Pressing them backwards, opening up. And just slowly dropping in. It's like we're modifying a cat-cow in a different position today. And opening up. Take those nice big breaths and really notice your tummy and your chest opening up a little bit bigger and dropping into cat. Stretching your arms towards me. Reach my fingertips. And stretching all the way up, dropping your shoulders down and coming into kind of a wide arm. Maybe it's goalpost, cactus arms. Holding in and opening up our shoulders. We're just going to work them real slow and up. You can gaze up if it's comfortable in your neck or just kind of lean a little bit forward. For me, looking straight ahead does not feel quite comfortable. I like to gaze a little bit up. And opening up. Keep your arms pretty level. If you drop them down too much, we're doing a little bit more neck. I want to keep it a little bit more shoulder for a bit. But acknowledge in your body that if this isn't right and this is right, definitely do what you're looking for, okay? And dropping down. And this time, make the moves a little bit bigger, kind of coming into a cat. And up, and you can go a little bit slower. I'm just doing a little bit of a smaller, quicker stretch. And dropping in. And dropping down. And coming up. And dropping down. This time hands to your knees. Nice cat stretch again. Dropping your head in. A nice big breath coming up. All the way up. And this time back into our goalpost or cactus arms. Arms together. So we're creating some muscle memory with some of these arm movements. And see if you can bring your elbow and hands together and just pressing in and coming open and relaxing all the way down. A little bit of a side-to-side movement, opening up your spine. And just letting your head relax in how it feels comfortable. Back into a center point. Bring your arms out to the sides. We're doing some gentle windmills. So you can see I'm doing more of a movement with my upper body. So from the belly button up, that's where a lot of the movement is happening, but more of it's happening probably my rib cage and up. So we're just opening up the spine. All these movements will help us throughout the day. Also help us in our yoga practice. And once more, holding out real long and dropping in. Nice big breath, reaching all the way up. And just swan dive, bring your hands to your legs and dropping in. head towards me. And relaxing down a little bit further if you have the space. And coming up, bring your arms back out to the sides. And dropping in. And this time rolling back, engaging your tummy into a cat stretch and coming up. Nice big breath, reaching your arms back out. A little bit of our windmill. Make the movement a little bigger if you have the space. Your spine should be good and warm. So I'm going, I don't know, I suppose if I didn't have a chair back, I'd probably go a little bit further, but that's okay. And once more. Nice big breath. Just dropping your chin down. And coming up. And dropping down again. And coming back up. Coming into more of our body twist in here. Going over towards your left, or your right first, sorry. Going towards your right. And make these movements as big as you'd like to. If you want to make them a little bit smaller. And coming up, a little side to side. Hopefully feel like your low back is getting nice and warm. And the opposite direction. And dropping in. A few more big moves. You make them again as big as you need. For me, it feels so good to stretch back and hang out for a minute. Do that if you need to, if you get to the side, and make those movements where you need it. And just coming back up towards center. And reaching your left hand real tall, stretching your sides. And switching. And do your best, and I just realized I was leaning further than I intended, but really keep yourself seated versus a lean over and you feel like all of your weight's on one side. Seat in and reach over. Do you feel that kind of in your low back? Maybe that's where yours is. I feel this a lot in my low back. That's where I'm tight at today. And I'm actually feeling it in the upper shoulder, right behind my shoulder blade. And switch sides. And as you're reaching up, reach up and then over, but make sure you keep yourself seated on the chair. Drop your shoulder a little bit. And switch sides, reaching up and over, get that length. Get that stretch out of your spine, get it really wonderfully straight, except for there's parts that are supposed to be curvy, right? And reaching up. And reaching up, and swan dive all the way down. Just relax your body. Letting your body relax, go down a little bit further, opening up your shoulders. Nice big breath. Bring your hands, your elbows back to your knees, curling up. Grab your hand weights. And we'll just do a little bit of just some gentle arm work. So keeping your elbows tight into your body. So gentle curls. I'm not tight, really gripping my dumbbells too hard. Just really gently opening, holding with my thumb. And this time we're going to hold up. So holding in, so we're keeping that bicep in kind of a tension mode. And then now slowly dropping your hands down. So if you can see, my hands are going real slow. So if you get a little bit further out, you might notice that your bicep is working. Good. That's what we're looking for, right? Dropping, and we're going to hold. We're probably about halfway out. My fingers are pointing towards you. So we're just holding. And slowly coming up, holding in. So I don't have them all the way up yet. I'm just kind of hanging up and go a little bit further. And then slowly holding up. Elbows still compressed into your body. And dropping all the way down. Holding. And just relaxing a little bit more out. So if you, again, if you feel like your biceps are really warm, that's the goal. And fingertips towards me. Drop your shoulders down. Holding your fingers out. Dropping a little bit further down. So my biceps are definitely feeling it. So we're not all the way down yet. You can see that. I'm about 2/3 the way down. Holding. And slowly coming up. I feel like actually my fingers were really tense. No need for that. They don't need to work that hard. And slowly coming up. Holding in. Not all the way up yet. Once more, a little bit further up. And twisting around so you can see my fingers are still holding out. We're going to do the same. Really slow dropping down. About halfway out, so I would say the index finger and the thumb are holding onto the weight. The rest of my hands are pretty loosey-goosey. Holding out. And slowly coming up, so it's more of a hammer curl. Traditionally we don't do weights in yoga, but you know what? Sometimes your upper body just needs some other, especially depending on the season. Now today I'm doing this and it's raining in the winter, so it's icy out. So for most of us, we probably are not getting outside unless we're having to shovel or scrape the cars. But if we are scraping cars, we want these shoulders to really work and be safe. So keeping our muscles limber is so important for all that. And dropping in, holding again. And this I'm doing some lifts. So these are going to work on our shoulders. We're going to do these a little bit quicker, but not real fast. You can see I'm just doing some nice gentle moves. We'll pick up the pace in a little bit on our second time through. And with anything with repetition for exercise, I do everything in threes, and that's for the stretch portion. If you're looking for strength, you can always do things in tens, like 3 times 10 or 5 times 10, whatever you feel you need. And coming back, I'm doing a slow drop down and coming up. Dropping in and coming up and dropping down and coming up. So I'm going down probably a little bit further, and you can see I've picked up the pace just a little bit. Going down creates a lot of work for the body, holding also. So anytime we hold these in some insane positions, and coming up, there you go, nice job, and slowly coming down, holding, so I'm about 2/3 of the way down, slowly coming up, doing a twist back to our hammer curls. So if you're feeling shoulders getting warm, really acknowledge that if you want to just do some smaller movements, you can. If it's just not comfortable for one of them, you know, skip it, do a different one. We always have options, don't we? I think yoga gives a lot of opportunity to heal ourselves by modification and making sure our body feels good. And slowly coming up and coming up. Just letting everything relax down. And just relaxing down. It's going to let your body shimmy it out a little bit. Nice cat stretch. Shoulder curls, opening them up, curling them back. And forward. And just relaxing them out. Take a nice big breath in, reaching up. We're just doing this as more of a rotation. And now remember, if this is not great for your shoulders with weights, do it without weights, or just do this as more of opening up the shoulders and our back. If you want to even just do something as small as this, or as small as this, find the motion. You can work your way up, making sure you're sitting upright, engaging your core, getting a lot of shoulder work. when you do shoulder work on the chairs, it gives you some different muscle strength than if we do a lot of planking on the floor for shoulders. The planks do a lot of upper body and lower body and the whole body. Downward dog is the same. They create strength in their shoulders and in the back, but sometimes that's just too much tension on different portions. So this is a nice way to add in. Just slowly working your way down. And back. Nice big breath in and out. Just a few pumps towards back, opening up our chest. And coming in. And make these movements as small, so if you need to keep them smaller because your shoulder doesn't like the motion, or if you want to go wider. I know when I go wider, I notice it more in the back, right by my shoulder blades, into the triceps. You know, who wants those arms flying in the wind, right? And relax down. Grab your yoga brick if you happen to have it. And if not, they're usually pretty inexpensive. There's always some inexpensive ones out there to grab if you'd like one. Reaching all the way up, and this time kind of widen your feet, drop your right arm down, reaching up. And coming up, switching sides. And coming back up. We'll do one more at this level. And coming up. And dropping in. Coming up. Now if that's not deep enough, this is where your brick comes into play. Reaching down, twisting. And dropping down and twist. And resting down. A nice big breath. Slowly switching hands, right hand down, left hand up. And dropping down, switch sides. And relaxing down. And you can work from your brick being a bit higher, so I'll do that on this one. So you can watch, I'm able to rotate a little bit further. And dropping down. And one more twist. Resting down. Gently rolling up. Move your yoga brick. If your yoga mat, if yours got a bit kind of wonky like mine. Nice big breath. Bring your hands towards me and dropping your fingers down and up. And just doing some rotations. So you can probably feel that nice stretch in your shoulders because we're opening up those muscles that we used before. And stop and down. I just think we drop our fingers down besides opening up those really tight forearms. I think you're showing off your fingernails. Mine are just plain, nothing exciting. And dropping them down and up and down. So now that you might be getting those stretches a little bit deeper, drop your shoulders and slowly relaxing down. Bringing the palm of your right hand down. And switch. Really, you probably feel a great stretch in your wrist. And switch. Switch. So I've got obviously pretty flexible wrists. You don't have to feel like you need to crush yours all the way in. I want you to be able to get a good stretch. So if you notice that this is a good stretch, acknowledge that. Switch sides again. To use my muscles on my arms very differently, I think. But I know the kids are very pliable, so I guess that's a good compliment to have good flexible wrists, right? But I know being on the computer all day, or if you're doing any crafting, it's a lot of repetition with the wrists and things like that. So just roll them around a little bit, shake them out, and switch, palms down. Palms towards me, however it's comfortable. I kind of like palms out so I can have my elbow into my body, feeling like I have a good support system. And switch sides. Might notice where you're tight in different spots. Switch sides. And once more. And relax it out. Bringing your left leg up. Nice big sit, sitting really tall, and just gently stretching forward. Feeling a stretch in your low back and in your hips. And coming up. And stretching forward. This is one I always notice is tight in the morning, is in that low back and hip area, and that might be common for a lot of people. Stretching your head towards me a little bit longer. And coming up. Stretching in towards me. And coming up. Switch sides. We've done a lot of upper body stuff and really haven't worked in the lower part. So if you're stiff, that would be pretty normal, wouldn't it? So just pulling your body forward and coming up. Stretching in towards me. So if you're feeling tight, just take nice big breaths, really focusing in on those muscles, putting air and breath into those spots. And coming Why that works, I have no idea. It works for me. I always visualize that each big breath is stretching those tight muscles. And coming up. Little side to side movement. Switch sides. Now this time you might feel a little bit more open. Stretching your body towards me. You can bring your hands up overhead. Now if your balance is really good, you could always do this standing. Balance, flexibility, you need it all, don't you? And coming up. And stretching in towards me. Now you don't need the arms, it just adds a little extra element of challenge with gravity. And coming up. Once more, reaching forward. Bring your palms down. And a gentle twist. Up and twist. And coming back towards center and coming all the way up. Shimmy out a little bit and coming back. Nice big breath and coming forward. Reaching your arms, so this is definitely my tighter leg for different ways than my right. And coming up. And reaching. Drop your shoulders down. And coming up. And once more, reaching your arms forward. Bring your hands together and twist towards your right. This one I feel is a little bit trickier for movement in the hips, so don't twist if it's not feeling the best for you. And coming up and twist. Back towards center and just gently coming up. Nice big breath, opening up your hips a little bit more. Widen your feet. Nice big breath. And just gently twist all the way down. And dropping down, coming up. Dropping down. Holding in, bring your palms facing each other and coming up into our chair pose. Make sure your tummy is engaged. And dropping down. This is really good for your tummy as well as your back. Nice big breath coming up. And dropping in forward. And coming up, dropping your shoulders down. And reaching forward towards me. Hands all the way down. And find on this one where you can feel supported in your tummy without feeling like you're falling all the way over. Really making sure your tummy is engaged. And reaching your hands up. Really engaging engaging that belly button. Remember, belly button back and up like it's hooking in and coming up. And stretching your hands forward. Reaching your body forward, bring your hands together, slowly coming up, giving yourself a little bit of a side to side movement. Nice big breath. We'll stay here quietly for just a moment or two. This is Shavasana. You're welcome to stay here as long as you'd like.